And I'll take you through those comments in just a bit. But the question we want to ask here, and the question that many in India are asking, is that are these leaders giving ammunition to the enemy, to Pakistan, with these kind of comments? Yes, we live in a democracy and we have the right to free speech. So do all of these leaders. But there is a time and place to ask these questions. If these questions are helping Pakistan wage a war of fakery and propaganda in the digital sphere, then should these leaders not practice restraint, to say the very least? Here's what transpired in the last few days, the kind of comments that have come to the fore. After our armed forces struck Pakistan air bases and military installations, opposition leaders, barring a few, said that they stand with the government and with forces. Even now, the Congress says that we stand with our forces, with our army, but we have questions to ask of the central government. Top politicians are back to what they've been doing best, which is politicizing, raising questions about whether the BJP created this entire narrative to gain electoral advantage when Bihar goes to polls later this year. The Congress, remember, initially had gagged its leaders for doubting the armed forces, but they seem to be doing the exact same now. Their party chief, while celebrating 2 years of the Karnataka government today, called Operation Sindoor a small war. He said it was chutput. Here's a reality check though. Armed forces have said that they've killed at least 100 terrorists, including top 5 Lashkar, Jaish and Hizbul leaders. The kind of damage that has been done to Pakistan's military installations, to their air bases, is evident and is there for everyone to see. This remark comes as Congress's call of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar came into the fore, where they tagged him a traitor. Rahul Gandhi led that particular attack over the weekend. Aditya Thackeray chimed in as well. They said that informing Pakistan at the start of the attack was a crime. An allegation that's been outrightly rejected by the Foreign Secretary yesterday while he was briefing the Standing Committee as well. Echoing Congress's sentiments, PDP chief and former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti said that Operation Sindoor has achieved nothing. She reiterated that Jaishankar did inform Pakistan and that was the biggest treachery that we could see. Pakistan then had an advantage, they claimed. But to remind Mehbooba Mufti, India has struck deep inside Pakistan. 9 terror launch pads were destroyed. 11 Pakistani military air stations were hit. There is admission from Pakistani leaders, from the Pakistani government themselves, that yes, this damage has been inflicted. There are satellite images to show exactly what was achieved. And yet, we have leaders calling this a small war and nothing being achieved. The Congress MP and leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi's remarks sparked a massive debate. Post-Operation Sindoor, there have been several instances where Rahul Gandhi's views were echoed by Pakistan, and that's exactly what's being pointed out by the BJP. Firstly, Rahul Gandhi's tweet questioning External Affairs Minister and calling him a traitor was carried by the Pakistani media. The BJP says that the Pakistani establishment used Rahul Gandhi's statements in international forums to deflect attention from their own role of harboring terrorists. BJP says that Rahul's word repeatedly serves as cover for those who sponsor cross-border terrorism. DG ISPR in Pakistan showed a video of Rahul Gandhi and Satyapal Malik to further push this kind of fake narrative, to say that, look, there are leaders within, politicians within India who are talking exactly about what Pakistan is trying to say. A former Pakistani minister reshared Congress's Gayab social media post a couple of weeks ago. This was against the Prime Minister of India, against Narendra Modi, where questions were being raised of where he was when this entire operation was being carried out. That too gave ammunition to Pakistan. So yes, we have the right to ask questions, but the kind of questions that are being asked, the timing of it all, is that undermining our forces? Is that giving ammunition and a handle to Pakistan? That's what we ask on Plain Speak.
ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ನಾವೇನು ಈ ಘರ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
मुझे मालूम नहीं क्या फायदा हो गया, पर नुकसान मैं कह सकती हूँ कि हमारे घर उजड़ गए, हमारे मकान बर्बाद हो गए, हमारे बच्चे इसमें शहीद हो गए.
जो लोग जो है वो पाकिस्तान के पाखंडी प्रोपेगेंडे के प्रॉक्सी प्रमोटर्स की भूमिका में आ गए।
Let's open this up. Lieutenant General Shankar Prasad, former DG Infantry of the Indian Army, joins us. Gopal Agarwal, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Arshpreet Karyal, spokesperson of the Congress, is with us. Arshpreet Karyal, let me begin by asking you the kind of comments that we've seen from Rahul Gandhi to Mallikarjun Kharge to others within the Congress party. Is the time and place right to be raising those questions? Because all of this is being cited by the Pakistani media, by the Pakistani administration, by the Pakistani military to try and spin the fake narrative that they're trying to push forth with.
Number one, what about Vijay Shah, the Bharatiya Janata Party's minister, who called a serving colonel, the daughter of the nation, a sister of terrorists? What about that? What about the fact that the Prime Minister hasn't uttered a word about it? He's still a part of the cabinet. He's still a serving minister. He's still a very senior member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, has still not been expelled. Mr. Modi is quiet about it. Mr. Shah is quiet about it. And this lowers down the morale of the army. It lowers down the morale of the country. And the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to tell us, why are they still supporting Vijay Shah? Number two, when Mr. Jaishankar said at the start of the operation, we gave a message to Pakistan that we are going to be striking at the terror bases. The main ingredient of an operation is the element of surprise. Why would you want to help Pakistan, and why would you want to put our army, our forces in the harm's way by doing something of this sort? And number three, the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to tell, why is America saying, why is the US saying that if you'll do a ceasefire, trade will happen. If you'll not do a ceasefire, trade will not happen. Why did Donald Trump announce the ceasefire first, then we announced it, and then Pakistan violated it? Why in the all-party meeting, Mr. Modi skipped it and went for a Bihar campaign, Bihar rally? And number two, why did they not have a single special parliament session when the country was demanding a session so that the country could be included through their members of parliament? The Bharatiya Janata Party did not even do that because they did not.
I'm not sure if the country is demanding that, Arshpreet Karyal, because one of your own allies, the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP, said that the parliament is not the right place to have this conversation. So I don't know if it's just the Congress party that wants a special session or the country. But the points that you raised, as far as S. Jaishankar's statement is concerned, there is a clarification that has come to the fore by the Foreign Secretary yesterday when the Standing Committee of the Parliament was briefed about it. The Foreign Secretary made it very clear that S. Jaishankar said during that press conference that the Congress is quoting that after the initial commencement of the attack, Pakistan was informed. There is no question about an element of surprise not being there or being there. The Indian Army has come out and categorically said there have been no losses to our assets, and yet we have Congress leaders asking how many aircraft have we lost, how many jets have we lost. But Gopal Agarwal, the kind of questions that are being raised by the Congress and many within the opposition like Mehbooba Mufti, they say this is democracy. We are not questioning our forces. We are questioning the government of the day and their foreign policy. What's wrong in it?
Poonamji, we have to understand the basic problem with the Congress narrative at this point of time is, in the name of questioning the government or Prime Minister, they are questioning directly to our armed forces. Where there is a clear-cut statement by our armed forces that it has been a very successful operation. We have destroyed their targeted hideouts, their military assets, neutralized their attacks, and even neutralized the defense of Lahore and such cities. Still, they continue to question. Nobody is questioning their questioning. The issue is what question you are asking and at which platform. Is it a question when Mr. Kharge, the president of Congress, says that ये तो छुटपुट लड़ाई है? When there is a clarification from the PIB has also clarified that S. Jaishankar, foreign minister, had informed after the initial attack of destroying the terrorist hideouts, centers. So, and this is a regular feature. Whenever any army strikes non-military and non-civilian places, they inform it. It happens every time. So, regular process, even if on regular statements also, regular operations also, they are questioning again and again. The issue is what is their intention, and we have seen how our adversaries are creating false narrative. China, Pakistan, and Turkey, and they are playing into their game. They are quoting Congress. So this the whole agenda and whole the way they are talking. It is questioning the armed forces only.
One
But
question.
even if they want to question, they should go for a proper platform and see the narratives, what they're doing, where clarification is there, still you are questioning. So all these things are clear that they are playing into the hands of anti-national elements. Their narratives is being used by which are those countries.
And leaders of Pakistan, the Pakistani media, the DG ISPR, Arshpreet, are all quoting what Congress leaders are saying.
So they have to answer. Now, when you ask,
Yes, Gopal Agarwal, the question was for Arshpreet. Let him finish, please.
No.
I'll come to you, Gopal Agarwal, for your rebuttal. Let him answer my question, please.
See, the fact of the matter is that when a Bharatiya Janata Party, when their Amit Malviya posts a picture of the leader of opposition of the country, along with Asif, it goes on to send a very wrong message about the country. It lowers down the morale of the country, sends a very wrong message.
And what
to the world.
happened? Okay, then what message, Arshpreet, was, okay, Arshpreet, what message was the Congress party sending when Dr. S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister of the country, was called a traitor?
I'll answer that question.
When in a press conference, the Congress said that Sindur ka sauda hua hai, what message was being sent then?
I'll answer that question if you'll allow me 20 seconds. One. Allow me to please.
Gopal Agarwal, just a second, please. Let him answer my questions. I'll come to your rebuttal.
See, there are two specific answers to that. One, Mr. Jaishankar said we gave a good advice to Pakistan, and then it was his own words. At the start of the operation, the message was sent. It did not say after the commencement. So that is one. Number two, when the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to demean the leader of opposition of the country, they have clearly forgotten that India has voted for the opposition as well. 50% of the population has voted for the opposition. So the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to ensure that they are at least heard. Their questions are answered. All we are asking is that why did you give this advice to Pakistan? We are asking why have you not...
And their clarification has come to the fore on that. The Foreign Secretary has told parliamentarians in a standing committee briefing. It's not just the BJP's word. The Foreign Secretary of the country has said that.
Now tell me one thing, Poonam. Some BJP leaders... Allow me one line only.
Yes. Go ahead.
Some BJP leaders came forward and they asked me a question in a debate. Some said that it's an artificial intelligence made video. Some said it was misinterpretation. So you see how confused the Bharatiya Janata Party is. They do not
But I am quoting the Foreign Secretary to you. What a BJP spokesperson told you somewhere else is not the point of contention here.
But why is the BJP confused? Why is the Bharatiya Janata Party's leaders confused? Who is to be believed?
Believe the Foreign Secretary of the country. The Foreign Secretary has briefed the standing committee of the parliament.
So the BJP has no credibility at all, right? So the BJP leaders that were saying it's a fake video, some were saying it's misinterpretation. They're not to be believed, right? They were
okay, so some BJP leaders who say this was a fake video, they are to be taken at face value for the Congress, but the other BJP leaders who are saying that S. Jaishankar's comment is misconstrued is not to be taken at face value. Is that what you're saying? Is this not you seeing? Is this the Congress not seeing what's convenient to you, sir?
Who is Dhruv Saxena? Who is Talib Hussain Shah? Who is Tariq Ahmed Mir? Who is Balram Singh? Some had links with ISI. Some had links with Lashkar-e-Taiba. Some were procuring weapons for Hizbul Mujahideen commander Naveed Babu. These were associated with the BJP. Some were office bearers of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Some were workers for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Some were leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
What has that?
The Bharatiya Janata Party. Why do you have such leaders?
And there will be investigation in that if they have links with traitors, with anti-national elements, with terrorists, all of that will be investigated. What has that got to do with the kind of comments that are coming to the fore? But anyway, let me
investigated.
I can't say that. I can't say when that will be investigated, sir. But the point, Arshpreet, that we're discussing here is that it can't be a tit for tat. It can't be a tit for tat sort of a situation. You say what kind of message did the picture posted by Amit Malviya send out? Okay, answer this, Arshpreet. If the message that the BJP was sending with Amit Malviya's post was wrong, what message did the Congress send with the post that they just put out a short while ago?
There was a basis to that.
Calling S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister of the country, the man who represents this country to the rest of the world, as a traitor.
There was a basis to it. Because when you give a message to our enemy in advance and you call it a good advice and you say at the
So
start
tit
of
for
the
tat
operation,
is okay. Is that what you're
we
saying?
will ask you questions.
Is that
You
where
have
we're
put
going?
the army in harm's way. Our forces are being put in harm's way. We
They
salute
haven't
the
been
army.
put in harm's
We
way.
commend
The armed
army.
forces
The
have
army
come
has
out,
done so
Harshpreet
much for
Kadyal,
us.
and made it
One
very
second,
clear
Bhola.
there have
One
been
second.
no
Allow me to
losses to our
complete.
assets.
1 second. We respect the army a lot. We commend the army. We salute the army. That's why we are saying. Why did you tell Pakistan in advance? You put the army in harm's way. You put our forces in harm's way. That's why we are asking you, the Bharatiya Janata Party, why did you have to do that in the first place? And number two, did the US not give an ultimatum
Can I
to us?
come in?
Did the
Just
US not say one second?
No, they didn't. And I'm
One
sorry,
second.
Donald Trump
Did he
did.
not say
And
that
Donald
if you
Trump
don't
said,
have a
yes, he
ceasefire,
did.
it
And
will
you
happen?
perhaps have forgotten what he said
Yes.
24 hours after that, where he said,
Yes.
I didn't do all of it, but I helped in a way. So maybe we should take that into consideration
So
as well.
what about the
But Lieutenant General
ceasefire?
Shankar Prasad, I know you've
What
been
about the
patiently
ceasefire?
waiting, so I
Can
want to
I
get you
come
in.
for the 10-20 seconds?
Gopal Agarwal, I'll get you in, but Lieutenant General Prasad has been waiting patiently. I want to get him in as well. Lieutenant General Prasad, the kind of comments that come to the fore. Ye chut-put war hai. There was no achievement that came out of Operation Sindoor. The opposition leaders in this country say that we're only questioning the government, not the armed forces. But these kind of comments are questioning the armed forces, don't you think?
Yes, of course. You see, 3 points. One political, which I don't want to get into the debate, but I must make a point. The whole purpose of an all-party briefing, to my understanding, is that everybody who has got any questions, whether it's about the foreign minister or the foreign secretary or anybody else, are answered there rather than in public domain. I do accept in a democracy, people have questions to ask. They're most welcome to ask questions. They must ask questions. This is the whole purpose of democracy. But there is a forum to ask. Today there is a kind of a serious situation emerging between Pakistan and India. This is not the time to bring it into public domain to say these things, because they affect the morale of not only the armed forces but also of the country. Leave that aside. I don't want to go into that debate anymore. Let me make a few points very clear to put this whole thing into correct perspective. Firstly, the Prime Minister's stated position, the Prime Minister of India's stated position in the World Forum is, this is not an era of war. We are not going to go to war to have a situation like Ukraine or to have a situation like Gaza. This is not a time to destruction, this is a time to build. Please remember that. The second important point is this particular incident has been thrust upon us, and we are only responding against whom? We are responding against the terrorists. And therefore to say chut-put and all that is irrelevant. We have only gone to destroy terrorism. To that effect, the armed forces have come out with a new doctrine, which doctrine must be understood by all concerned. This is a doctrine which needs to understand, because this doctrine has not been followed by anybody else in the world or ever by India. This is a doctrine specifically targeting wherever they may be inside Pakistan, to destroy the bases of terrorists. We have been destroying bases of terrorists across the line of control at a few places, like you remember Balakot and all of that. But this time the main universities, as our Prime Minister calls it, of terrorism existing at Bhavalpur and at Muridke have been destroyed. So the main base of two major terrorist organizations have been destroyed. Hundreds of people have been killed, hundreds of terrorists have been killed, besides the number of 9 or 10 or 11, whatever, across the line of control. There also the terrorist camps have been destroyed. Rawalakot, Muzaffarabad and all of those. The point must be understood. The reason to have so-called a small scale has proved 2 or 3 very important doctrines which many of us didn't understand earlier. We did not have to cross into Pakistan. Our weaponry is such, our training is such, our equipment is such that we were able to destroy targets 100 kilometers inside Pakistan or Bawalpur. We destroyed the Jaish-e-Mohammed camp over there, which is meters away from the army base. Bawalpur, if you all remember, is the core headquarters of the Pakistan Army, with 3 or 4 other large SAR formations. If the same sorties, if they wanted, they could have destroyed a core headquarters and a large number of Pakistani troops in one night. We did not do that because the doctrine does not say so. We are only striking at terrorists. Similarly, in Muridke, you know Muridke is just next door to Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi has got a core headquarters, large number of military installations. We could have also in the same circuit destroyed Lahore and the military in Lahore. We did not do this. So we have specifically the military avoided the military target and targeted only the terrorist camp. What happened at Rahim Yar Khan? The same thing happened there. So therefore, please understand the logic of the evolution of this new doctrine, which is an amazing doctrine, to say that we will only go after terrorists. We do not want to go to war with Pakistan because this is not an era of war. We want ourselves to develop. We don't want to prolong the war beyond the immediate requirements. We don't want to, you see, the biggest problem is many people in the world perhaps were of the view that if Pakistan and India can go to a full-scale war, Indian economy will also suffer. India emerging as a world power and amongst the largest economies in the world, they will come down. Those are the people, there are people like that who think in the world. So why don't we understand that on the first night, if you recall, the share market went down 1,000 points. The very next day, it went up 2,500 points.
Yes.
Today, the stock market is flourishing. So effectively, it has not affected our economy at all. It is established that Indian armed forces are capable of adjusting to a new doctrine that the government will evolve. That is to say, they can destroy targets. We've destroyed a number of airfields, which means that their air power has become pretty much ineffective for a while.
Correct.
And that means our skies are clear. And our equipments, which are mostly indigenously developed, have been proved that the radar shields are impregnable. We got weaponry enough to destroy drones and missiles and aircrafts and whatever the enemy may want to thrust on us. So please, for God's sake, understand the concept of this doctrine. This is a doctrine which must be understood by all concerned. It involves the military, it involves high level of intelligence, it involves all facets of the armed forces, army, navy, air force, and all the
Absolutely,
weaponry that
and an
we've got.
integrated,
It involves
synchronized sort of
diplomacy.
response
Now,
was...
diplomacy is an important thing.
Yes.
Diplomacy is an important thing in relation to the foreign minister's statement. You see, what is a strong diplomacy? Strong diplomacy is that we have done what we needed to do. If the surprise was lost, why wasn't Bahawalpur active? Bahawalpur also has got anti-aircraft guns. Bahawalpur also got an AD brigade, a part of the southern reserves of Pakistan. Why didn't they open up? If they were informed early enough, they should have opened up. Why didn't Muridki open up? They have also got an air defense brigade in Lahore and close by. But none of this happened. So why can't we understand that whenever, I don't know when the foreign minister said anything or didn't say, I don't want to even comment on it. My point is simple. If any effect had happened on foreign minister's statement into Pakistan, government or wherever, it would have had some results. There are no results. All the airfields were without radar. We
And those
broke
admissions,
the radar of
have
Lahore
come in
airport.
from Pakistani quarters. I mean, if the Indian government's word is not to be taken by some within the opposition quarters here in India, maybe they want to take the word of Pakistan. But Gopal Agarwal, as far as questions of the opposition are concerned, they say we want to ask these questions. There has to be a forum. Give us a parliament session if you don't want us asking these questions in public. Is that something that the government would agree on?
Poonamji, I want to clarify one basic fact on this debate is, opposition has every right to ask questions, even Congress. The fact is, they have asked certain 2-3 questions which have been answered. They are not accepting. On foreign minister's statement, the government, even everybody, foreign secretary, everybody has clarified that he stated after the initial strike on the terrorist centers. That has been clarified. They are not accepting. On loss of aircraft, army has answered. On other issues about the American mediation, even American president has answered. Indian government, clearly Prime Minister himself said that no mediation, it's a bipartite agreement of this cessation of war. So all the 3 important questions that Congress again and again asking, they have been answered at every public forum everywhere by the right persons who are at authority. Still they are not accepting. This is the problem. They are not accepting the answer. Nobody is questioning their right to question. They can ask, they should ask in democracy. But one thing is, when there is an authoritative answer to a question, still you are not accepting it and again repeating, that shows your intention is bad. The second thing is, even if you still want to ask, there are other forums, but why? Why you are not accepting the Foreign Secretary's statement, clarification by PIB, the Prime Minister himself has clarified, the American President has clarified, the Army has said about the aircraft, and the clear images of strike has been...
Sure. So there are multiple clarifications, Arshpreet, that have come out. Last 30 seconds. Why is it that the Congress or the opposition would not want to believe anything that the BJP says, or the government says, or the Foreign Secretary says, or even the armed forces say?
Number one, that's exactly what we are trying to do. We are trying to believe what Mr. Jaishankar said. I quoted him for word to word at the start of the operation.
Mr. Agarwal, just a second, please. Let him finish.
At the start of the operation, we gave a message to Pakistan, is what he said. We gave a good advice to Pakistan, is what he said. That's exactly what I quoted. Number two, as far as facts are concerned, US did announce the ceasefire before us. And after that, Pakistan did violate the ceasefire. That's another. Number two. Now, I'll show you an example as to how we were trying for a united house and the BJP was trying for a divided house.
Mr. Agarwal, just a second, please. Let him finish.
We were asked for 4 names, Poonam. We gave the 4 names. Yet, the name that did not, have any, that wasn't featuring in the list was added. Now, my question to the BJP is, Poonam, the channel asked for a spokesperson from the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Bharatiya Janata Party gave a name and Mr. Gopal is here. Now, if I were to say Shehzad Poonawala is more competent, or Gaurav Bhatia is more competent, or Sudhanshu Trivedi ji is more competent, he should have been here, not Mr. Gopal. Can I say that? Am I supposed to be saying that? The BJP's duty was to give the names when the channel asked for them. The same way when the BJP asked us for names.
Sure, but this delegation is not representing the Congress party. The delegation is representing India as a country.
Yes.
If the government of the day thought in their wisdom, for whatever reason, who should be a part of this delegation, why not put up a united front? The aim is not to fight amongst ourselves.
What about our wisdom? Number one. Allow me to please complete, Mr. Gopal.
Yes.
We were asked 4 names. Therefore, trusting our wisdom, you asked us. We gave you 4 names as per our requirements, as per what we thought was the most competent, as per what we thought was the most wise for this job. Now, number 2, the Bharatiya Janata Party, like I said, I gave an example of Mr. Gopal Agarwal. If I were to say some other spokesperson should have been there, I cannot, right? So, number 3, people are remembering.
But you can't say that for Gopal Agarwal because you are not his party or you are not representing the BJP. But here, this delegation is not representing the Congress or the BJP. They're representing the country.
But we were asked.
Also, it's a member of parliament of this country, not of one particular party. But that's not the point we're discussing, and I don't want to digress. Arshpreet Kadyal, that wasn't the point that we were discussing here, and I don't want to digress. The point of this discussion was that yes, we live in a democracy, and questions can be raised, should be raised in a healthy democracy, but should we perhaps maintain restraint if it's arming the enemy, which we have seen happen with Pakistan? I have to leave it there. I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. As we talk about what's transpiring between India and Pakistan, and even as that politics over Operation Sindoor continues, we here on CNN News 18 want to get you the real picture from on ground. My colleague Akash Sharma took us inside the Indian Army posts along the line of control, along the international border. These are the sites that endured heavy cross-border strikes. They were at the forefront of fighting the enemy during Operation Sindoor. Take a look at these exclusive reports.
L-70 anti-aircraft gun is one gun system that has played an important role as far as defense of the military installations here in India is concerned. We know that how this gun is capable enough to neutralize any sort of aerial threat, be it drone, UAV, aircraft or any sort of missile in fact. But as far as the functionality is concerned, so you are seeing these visuals where this gun can in fact rotate 360 degree and can decide several sort of angles on the basis of threat that is coming towards the area. In fact, it has got integration with Akash system that in fact decides and in fact sends a message on the sort of threat that is approaching.
This gun is very effective. It's very accurate. The rate of fire is too high. It creates a barrage of the rounds which it fires, a wall kind of a thing. It was extremely effective as far as the drones were concerned. Any drone which was in our AOR, it was downed by this gun only. These guns are actually controlled by the radars. There are fire control radars there, and these guns are controlled by that. It can track in day as well as in night. It's very effective gun.
We have heard of gun systems, we have heard of command and control centers, but not much has been spoken about the radars that were used by the Army Air Defence units of Indian Army, in fact. Today I'm standing in this forward location and I'm showing you this radar that is fire control radar. It basically helps gun systems like L-70 to choose the target and in fact to point towards the target and decide the direction that in which direction it will fire to neutralize that sort of threat. I'll try to talk to the officer as well as to what is the function and as far as this radar is concerned, so how important this radar is. Sir, अगर आप हमें बता पाएँ ये रडार के बारे में, ये तो फायर कंट्रोल रडार है हमें बताया गया, लेकिन अर्ली वार्निंग रडार्स भी होते हैं, किस तरह के रडार्स यूज़ किए जाते हैं आर्मी एयर डिफेंस में और इसका क्या रोल था?
बेसिकली जैसा आपने बताया कि आप मेरे दाहिनी तरफ जो रडार देख रहे हैं वो एक फायर कंट्रोल रडार है। इस फायर कंट्रोल रडार को हम सर्च और ट्रैक दोनों ही कर सकते हैं इस रडार की मदद से। आप मेरे ठीक पीछे देखेंगे तो एक रडार है जो कि हमारा एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम का अर्ली वार्निंग रडार है। उस अर्ली वार्निंग रडार के माध्यम से हमारे FC रडार जो कि फायर कंट्रोल रडार है, इसको टारगेट का डाटा पास किया जाता है और ये FC रडार अपने वेपन सिस्टम के द्वारा उस टारगेट पर सटीक फायर करके उसको बर्बाद करता है।
A number of important aspects of Operation Sindoor have not come out in the public domain, and one such aspect is the use of mechanized infantry. When the ceasefire violation was happening from the other side, then different arms of Indian Army in fact came together, and in fact mechanized infantry went till LC and in fact fired from LC to the other side to give a befitting reply to the sort of violations that were happening. Historical context, Akhnur is known for the tank battle that happened between the troops of India and Pakistan back in 1965. But during Operation Sindoor, now in 2025 in fact, the tanks were very much used by Indian Army. This time they did not cross the LC but were very much retaliating to the sort of fire that was coming from the other side. In fact, I am standing on one T-72 main battle tank which was indeed used in this operation and in fact in the Akhnur sector itself. Today we have these sort of modifications that have happened because of the new age warfare, where we have drones coming from the other side, where we have UAVs coming from the other side. And when on 8th May, 9th May and in fact on 10th May the violations were happening, these tanks were moved to the forward locations and in fact were very much used by the armoured core of Indian Army.
Moving on now, one spell of downpour has brought Bengaluru to a standstill. In the last 48 hours, we've seen India's Silicon Valley underwater, several flooded streets, inundated homes, traffic snarls more than usual for Bengaluru, and crumbling infrastructure has become a new normal. 3 people have lost their lives in rain-related incidents, but for the state government, that doesn't seem to be a matter of concern. Look at the contrasting images on your screens. This is why the Congress is facing allegations of misplaced priorities today, because they decided to mark 2 years of Siddaramaiah government being in power. There was a grand celebration for which the Congress chief Priyank Kharge, LOP Rahul Gandhi all descended into Karnataka, but not one word of concern for the people who had lost their lives or for the city that was drowning. The Aam Aadmi was suffering, but the Congress was celebrating those 2 years in governance. Now, this was happening about 300 kilometers away from Bengaluru. There were cabinet ministers there. There was Rahul Gandhi and Kharge in attendance as well. The least that these leaders could have done during that celebration was perhaps talk about what better can be done for the people of Bengaluru, how they can mitigate this crisis that the IT capital has been facing for the last 48 hours, because apathy continues to drown the city. Is then this celebration a higher priority for the Congress over Bengaluru, over the IT capital? That's what we ask.
Siddaramaiah government has become so insensitive. When people are worst affected due to heavy rains from last 2 days in Bangalore, just by naming Bangalore as a greater Bangalore, not going to help the people of Bangalore.
ಕಳೆದ 3-4 ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಳೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಚರಂಡಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರೈನೇಜ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಗಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ
Let's open this up. Ashok Gowda, spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, is with us. Raghu Doderi, spokesperson of Karnataka Congress, and Sandeep Anirudhan, convener of the Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru, is with us. Let me begin by asking Raghu Doderi, was the timing okay for this celebration to take place? We had 3 lives that were lost in the last 48 hours. Bengaluru once again seeing waterlogged streets, roads crumbling, infrastructure crumbling, homes that have been inundated. And here we have 300 kilometers away, the Congress having a mega gala.
Okay, first of all, let me clarify that whatever the program we had organized by the government of Karnataka, it is not a Congress party program, it's a government of Karnataka. All the 224 MLAs and all the MPs were invited, and this is not a grand celebration. This is just a program for distributing 1 lakh Akkupatras. So this is not a grand celebration at all. So BJP is just trying to divert the attentions of the people by diverting from the WhatsApp University, whatever the misguided messages are coming from their messages. They're just
what is misguided in this? Are you saying the visuals that our viewers are seeing on screens are not of inundated roads, that in the last 48 hours, 3 Bengalurians have lost their lives? Is that misguided propaganda of the BJP? Is that not the fact? And I'm sorry, if all 200 MLAs, 200 plus MLAs were invited for this particular event, then who is looking at the state of affairs in Karnataka, especially in Bengaluru? That's even worse, in my honest opinion.
Yes, I'll answer your question. So all these constituencies were waterlogged run by BJP has been BJP MLAs are there in power for last 23 years. It is a BJP's miserable failure between all these constituencies where water has been logged, and whatever the misdeed it's happening in Bangalore, it is purely because of the BJP government they were in power between 2018, 19 and 24. 23. So during this time, I think first time in the history of Bangalore, all Lamborghini and big, luxury cars were floating on the water, and that is because of the BJP's MLAs who failed to build a miserable, good infrastructure in their constituencies. Of course, when Congress government came to power, so we have built the Raju Kalaways between 2013 and 2018. We have built 2,035 kilometer Raju Kalaways. Now again, we have kept aside 2,000 crore, not 1 rupee. It is 2,000 crore kept aside to develop the Bangalore, Raju Kalaways development. So which is clearly shows that government of Karnataka and Congress government has dedicated for the infrastructure development.
You've dedicated money, sir, like you dedicated money for your 5 pre-poll guarantees, many of which have delayed payments. Where that dedicated money is going is the question people are asking. Is it down the drain in Bengaluru? That's the question we want to ask. But let me get in. Sure, you've asked your questions. Let me get in Ashok Gowda as well. This is all BJP-run constituencies. The BJP has made a mess of these constituencies for years together. How can you expect the Congress to suddenly make everything all right? That's what the Congress says.
First, Raghu Doderi should know that BTM layout constituency since 2008, Ramlinga Reddy is a MLA, and before that also, Ramlinga Reddy was virtually ruling and literally ruling south part of the Bangalore. That is part 1. And part 2, Raghu Doderi probably is the Vice Chancellor of the WhatsApp University because he fakes in Kannada news channels as similarly in the same English channels also. First, let me get into the history where I personally, my family has been involved in this. My wife's grandfather happens to be the chief. He was a chief minister. He retired in 1993. In 1986, there was a committee set up to study the Raj Kalaways and propose what is the solutions for the Raj Kalaways, which was proposed in 91 and 92. Believe me, the Bangarappa was a chief minister. Mr. D.K. Shivakumar was a concerned jail minister. He was not a Bangalore development minister because he happens to be, my wife's grandfather happens to be the relative of D.K. Shivakumar. He did not recommend the chief minister to look into this report because that report was done by one of his close relatives, which probably he had a grudge on or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But apparently, because of this report was not implemented, we are suffering today. You saw that in Silk Board, they have built on the retaining wall, they have built a block masonry. How can on a concrete wall you build a block masonry which can sustain the rainwater which is coming almost 123 centimeters in a single night? So the common sense for an engineer is absolutely not there. The engineering chief or the chief engineers who think that they have learned the civil engineering. Absolutely, I think that they have forgotten what civil engineering is there, and we call them as jugad engineers. They take money and they give money. This is what they are doing. They are not doing the justice to the Bangaloreans at all. Forget about all these things. Now let me tell you. Now he says that we were BJP did not do anything. Please go to the history. In 2006, when BBMP was announced, from BMP it became BBMP. Then the chief minister and the deputy chief minister was Kumaraswamy and Yediyurappa. Later Yediyurappa became the full-time chief minister, and then the retaining walls of all the existing Raj Kalves were made into concrete, and the height which was proposed was to the load of 112 centimeters for a rain in most of the Raj Kalves. This Raj Kalves, if there is an encroachment, it was by the Congress regime supporters who have ruled Karnataka and Bangalore almost for 50 years. They have ruled Karnataka and Bangalore. Forget about all this. This is also second part. Third part is, when we were in governance in 2000, between 2019 till 2023, of course, there was a metro construction, there was a road construction, white topping, etc., were happening. Agreed. Now, when they have come to the power, it is 24 months. What did they do for all these Raj Kalves? Let them explain. Money allotment is not important. Changing the name is not important. Okay, this is also a part. When the Bangaloreans are suffering, people are dying on the streets, people are taking for a 5 minutes road 5 hours to travel. They want celebration on the same day. You don't have sensitivity, and you blame central government and just fake the number, just like Raghu Doderi. Sidramaya fakes the number. He says 4 lakhs tax collection and we receive only 62,000. Please, Sidramaya, central GST is 1,42,000, which is paid.
Let me correct. See, Mr. Ashok Gowda,
please, Raghu Doderi, I did not interrupt you.
Okay.
Bluff the information.
Okay, I want to interject both of you here, because that's not what we are discussing at the moment. The amount of funds that the state government has, okay, I request both you gentlemen to let me get in a word, please. I need to get in Mr. Sandeep as well. As far as funds are concerned, the BBMP, which is a civic body in Bengaluru, has a budget, Sandeep Anirudhan, of close to 20,000 crores. Is it safe to assume that's going down the drain, quite literally?
Of course, quite literally, because Pooja, getting anything done by BBMP today is impossible. If you ask them to repair a road, it won't happen. If you ask them to repair a drain, it won't happen. The AEs, AWEs don't pick up their phones. We have no idea what they're doing. And the whole city is collapsing under illegal buildings, illegal layouts, illegal borewells. Nobody is there to stop anything. The city is doomed. Now, what is the state government doing? The state government has 2 lakh crores to splurge on some fancy project that it thinks is necessary for Bengaluru. For example, there's a tunnel road project, there is an elevated corridor project, there's a sky deck, there is they want to build, to worsen things, they want to build roads on buffer zones of Raj Kalves and Lake. Then they basically, I think, they have some funny advisors who are giving them the worst advice possible. Out of that 2 lakh crores which they want to spend on useless projects, they could have spent 10,000 crores, 20,000 crores and solved this within months. Why aren't they doing that on priority? They know we've been having floods for the last 10 years, 20 years. That should have been priority. And we have deaths due to potholes every year. That should have been priority. Allot another 10-20 crores for potholes. Everything else, you let the MPC, which is the authority for planning, to do it. Why is the state government doing the MPC's job? That is unconstitutional. So, first of all, this government is not allowing elections in the BBMP. Therefore, we have no elected BBMP to whom we can raise our voices with. We don't have a mayor, we don't have councillors. That is the actual breakdown. Because that isn't there, there is no local governance. And because there is no local governance, there is nobody to hear the voice of the common man. The BJP did the same thing when it was in power for 3 years. They avoided elections. They found some excuse or the other. Now the Congress is following in its footsteps. It's doing exactly the same. It's continuously finding excuses to delay elections and not have elections. Why? Because they want to decide everything. The state government, the chief minister wants to be the mayor of the city. I don't see this behavior in any government across the world.
Maybe not the chief minister in this case, probably the deputy chief minister, who's the guardian minister, Mr. DK Shivkumar for Bengaluru, who also was in the war room and said that we've taken care of what's happened. Yesterday, when there were reports of 1 life being lost he said there's just 1 life being lost. So, I mean, Raghu Doderi, I don't know what kind of insensitivity comes in from Congress leaders. To say the very least, the kind of comments, the kind of celebration or the kind of event, as you call it, being marked, to say the very least, it's tone deaf, isn't it?
No, let me tell you very clearly. See, we are not celebrating. Till yesterday evening, late evening, CM and DCM had a round across all the constituencies where BJP ruled MLAs. First of all, first constituency, Alanka is completely clogged. It is, last 23 years, BJP MLA is ruling. Yeah, K S Eshwarappa
so
is
what,
ruled by
sir? The Congress is in power in the state.
Mahadevapura is ruled by...
Fine, the BJP may have ruled there for years together. Are you saying now that the Congress is in power there, the BJP ruled constituencies will be ignored?
The current affairs in the Silkport junction is purely because of it belongs to, BJP MLA. Okay, Bommanalli, it is not BTM layout. So
are you suggesting, Mr. Doderi, that the Congress government is only for Congress-ruled constituencies?
Accepting their failure during the previous government, where all the vehicles were floating, all the luxury vehicles were floating, and first time boats were used in Bangalore. Okay, during the previous government, 7,700 kilometer road was damaged, which they could not able to damage, they could not able to fill and potholes were not full. Because of that, 38 lives were, died. 38 people died. So after Congress government came to power, we have built a very beautiful roads in Bangalore, and more than 2,500
beautiful roads that couldn't be seen because of the water logging for the last 48 hours, sir. Beautiful roads. Unfortunately, nobody could see them.
No, I asked the people to ride in Bangalore. And Bangalore has got the safest city in India. That tag was given by the central government, BJP government recently. Last week they have given.
You are safe if you are inside your homes when it rains, because clearly that's the case.
What we have given in Bangalore, that is because of that. And second thing, my friend Ashok Gowda has said that, again, please correct yourself. Karnataka government has paid 6.7 lakh crore to the central government, including cess and direct and indirect tax. But the central government is giving only 53,000
What is that got to do with the BBMP's budget?
And we have requested multiple projects.
Raghu Doderi, tell me this. Does the BBMP, the civic body of Bengaluru, not have a budget of about 20,000 crores? Yes or no?
No, absolutely no.
Okay, what is the budget of the BBMP?
The tax collection in Bangalore is only about 8,000 crore.
Okay.
Now we have, budget is about 12 to 13,000 crore.
Okay.
But we are trying to, our government has increased the tax collection by double, more than 6.8 thousand.
And where is that tax going? All that cess that was put on Bengalurians over the last few months, where is that tax going? Because clearly it's not helping any of them.
Yes,
and I don't know why you keep raking up. I don't know why you keep raking up BJP ruled constituencies. Are you saying that if people voted for a BJP MLA, then they should suffer?
Government we are developing 2,000 crore is utilized, and we are developing the Raja Kalways. First time in the history of Bangalore, we are building 300 STPs in Bangalore. Okay, all this year BJP has failed to control the sewage connection into that Raja Kalways. We have made a strict, and we have taken an action on them and put a penalty on those people who are connected the sewage connection into the Raja Kalways. So this is like all the BJP's failure, 4 years failures. We are correcting it, and it will take a little more time. And our Deputy Chief Minister Shri D.K. Shukwar has told BJP's misdeed cannot be corrected in a short span, but we'll definitely correct, and we'll make Bangalore the best living city and best infrastructure in the entire country.
So Ashok Gowda, give the Congress some time. They are apparently repairing your mistakes. They are redoing everything. So give them some time.
They have ruled Karnataka for 47 years, 2 years of president rule, as well as we have ruled for 21 years. Janata Dala, Janata Parivar, and together BJP also. BJP has ruled only for 9 years. Leave that apart. Okay, no problem. Raghu Doderi, as he does not understand, the Silkport junction actually falls under BTM layout because I live there. He does not live. He lives in the other part of Bangalore. Okay, I live in Silkport. 700 meters, BJP.
It's a junction.
1 second, Raghu, please.
So if you're on the left side of the road, you have no water logging. If you're on the right side of the road, you have water logging. Too bad you perhaps voted for a BJP MLA. Is that what you're trying to suggest, Raghu Doderi? But anyway, Ashok Gowda, please go ahead.
See, the point is very simple. It's not 2,000 crores or anything which is actually a matter of concern. Concern is very simple. Engineering techniques should be used. Just by building a road which is asphalted does not mean that stormwater drain will be, the rain will go to the stormwater drain. Does not mean. There is something called the slope towards it, and it is minimum slope should be 10 degrees. Please come to Bangalore and let's check on the road. if there is a 10 degree slope. That is point number one. Point number two is there should be a small drains connecting the footpath to the stormwater drains, and as well as the stormwater drains should be connected to the Raj Kalves. Are they functioning properly? Why was this not checked during the summer time? That is one theory. Second part is the most important part. When they are utilizing 3,000 crores only to clean up the stormwater drains, where did the money go? From February till April, they were supposed to spend 3,000 crores. Where did that money go? If that money was spent well, then there could not have been a waterlogging. And now, come to the third point. Raj Kalves has 3 Raj Kalves. That is tertiary, secondary, and primary Raj Kalves. You go to any primary Raj Kalves, complete encroachment. Complete encroachment. Now, on the Raj Kalves, both the sides, who are the people who built the houses? The people, they say that I'm a close friend of DK Shukuma, I'm close friend of Ramlinga Reddy, I'm close friend of...
Sure, so but it seems like this is a legacy issue. This keeps going on and on. Parties change, governments change. Unfortunately, the voter of Bengaluru suffers.
Let me put one more point. During the previous BJP government,
during the BJP government, there were pothole-ridden deaths that happened. There was water logging that happened. The infrastructure was crumbling. The same thing happened, Sandeep Anirudhan. I want you to have the last word as the voice of Bengaluru. Because this has been happening irrespective of which party is in power. Is there then just no motivation for any politician, apparently, in Bengaluru or in Karnataka to do anything about it?
You know, we are not interested in what MLAs do because they don't come under local self-government. As per our constitution, 74th Amendment, Nagar Palika Act 1992, it is 33 years since that law was passed. From then, it is the BBMP, which is the local self-government. The corporators are our representatives in the city. We are supposed to deal with them. If both of these parties do not hold elections, how are we supposed to have a local self-government? How are we supposed to solve our problems?
And a decade has gone by. The last elections were in 2015.
Yeah, it has been 5 years overdue. They keep finding some excuses. And there is a Supreme Court judgment in Ahmedabad that the government should give no excuses for any delay. They are supposed to first hold elections and then you do whatever you want to do. If you want to do reservation, you want to do delimitation, all that after holding election. Both these parties are guilty. Both of them have been preventing elections. Both of them have been destroying our city. We don't want to see
and
either
it seems
of
like
them.
all politicians have failed the people of Karnataka, especially of Bengaluru, and that's where we leave it. And that's what most of your electorate feels, Raghu Doderi, whether you like it or not. That's what a lot of people in Bengaluru and in Karnataka feel, and they want their politicians, irrespective of what party they come from, to do better. I have to leave it there. I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. It's a wrap from my side.
Co-powered by. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
As the Congress party has yet again attacked the External Affairs Minister, the Congress has gone on to say that Jai Shankar is the new age Jai Chand. That is a line of attack, a rather controversial one coming in from the Congress party, where they had first said that how the details of Operation Sindoor was already shared with Pakistan by the External Affairs Minister, and now in the form of this particular cartoon that's been shared by senior Congress leader Pawan Khera, where they have again made that suggestion that Pakistan was pre-informed of Operation Sindoor, and that attack on terrorist infra that was done on Pakistan and the POK that information was made available to Pakistan courtesy S. Shankar, which is why all the terrorists who were believed to be in fact at those locations could just have fled. That is the allegation that has been made by Congress, and now the Congress is amping up that attack. My colleague Pallavi is with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, the Congress is not letting it go. They are going on attacking the External Affairs Minister.
Absolutely, and we are just seeing, and in fact we just reported a short while back that there's going to be a criminal and a civil case which is going to be filed against Malviya by the Congress party. And just close on the heels of that, a little moment back, you also have this entire social media post which has been put out by Pawan Khera calling Jai Shankar Jai Chand, or someone who has betrayed the country, who has backstabbed. Been going on since yesterday after that purported soundbite of Jai Shankar. Despite a clarification coming in from the MEA, the Congress has decided to take this line that Jai Shankar.
Okay, seem to have lost that link with Pallavi. We'll try and re-establish that connection, but Pallavi essentially was talking on the lines that the Congress party has decided to take, which is attack the External Affairs Minister, particularly after the comments that he'd made about an information that was given into Pakistan way into Operation Sindoor. Pradeep Bhandari, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is now with us on the broadcast. Pradeep, first of all, your first comments of this entire caricature that has been released by Pawan Khera, one of the senior Congress leaders, once again an accusatory stance by the Congress party against the External Affairs Minister.
Well, Congress party is nothing short of Mir Jafar, and Congress party is the B team of Pakistan. Please note that it's the same party which has become the poster boy of the Pakistani media. Rahul Gandhi has been quoted time and again by Pakistan in various United Nations forums, and the Mir Jafar and the Gaddar party will logically and rationally point fingers at every other patriot and nationalist. So Mr. Khera's tweet is in that direction. The Congress party needs to answer why Mr. Kharge called Operation Sindoor, which the world is admitting and acknowledging about the bravery of our armed forces, as a chutmut or a small operation. This tells you yet again that whatever the Congress tweets, but the DNA of the Congress is nothing but Pakistan. It should change its name from Indian National Congress to Pakistani Congress.
But that's the accusation that they are now levelling against the Bharatiya Janata Party in turn at the External Affairs Minister, Pradeep. They seem to have borrowed a leaf out of the BJP playbook, and they are charging the EAM with the same allegations, that of traitor.
Well, a terrorist or a terror sympathizer or a traitor will always put accusation on every other patriot. It is his freedom of expression to quote. But in the court of public opinion, right from asking proof of the Balakot airstrike to today being quoted by Pakistan on various forums, Rahul Gandhi's Congress today is nothing but the B team of Pakistan. And if they are so confident about their narrative, let them go to the court of public opinion. The people of India have proven time and again, whether it is 14, 19, 24, that Congress is nothing but an anti-national party in the hands of Pakistan and China.
What is the party's line now, Pradeep? Are they planning to respond to these allegations that have been levelled against the External Affairs Minister time and again by the Congress party? It started by what Rahul Gandhi had said, and now Pawan Khera putting out this particular tweet. Is the BJP planning on responding to it officially?
Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party only responds to the people of the country. The Congress party can tweet anything and everything. What is now becoming evidently clear that after Pakistan has lost the global narrative, the Congress party has started to play on the Pakistani playbook in the country. Let them do so. We will continue to expose them on the ground and in the court of public opinion.
And Pradeep, before I let you go, why do you think this is going on? Considering Vikram Misri, the Foreign Secretary, was also laid it bare on how the comments that were made by the External Affairs Minister have been misconstrued. Do you think there is going to be a clarification now coming in from Dr. S. Jaishankar?
Absolutely not. The MEA has made its stand very clear. We will not respond to terror sympathizing party, the Congress party, a party which acts of being deaf, cannot be apprised about the truth. It is very caricaturish and churlish of Rahul Gandhi. The logic is similar that when George W. Bush announced to the world that US will attack and go after Osama bin Laden, as per Rahul Gandhi's logic, US was informing Osama bin Laden. Well, the people of the country and across the globe acknowledge that India has destroyed terror hideouts, including Masood Azhar's entire family. Operation Sindoor has not stopped. It is only paused. We will also get the head of Masood Azhar sooner rather than later.
But we also are putting out this image that has been posted by BJP's Amit Malviya, where you had a picture of Rahul Gandhi and Asim Munir, and there was a split image, and you've called Rahul Gandhi Mir Jafar. This is an answer, we take it, from the Congress after that image that was...
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. As we begin this edition, this Tuesday edition, there is one surprise, that there is a nation which is our neighbor that promotes, rewards losers, viewers. And how they do it with such alacrity and with such pomp and splendor is something that leaves me gobsmacked, not just as a viewer, as a journalist, but as someone who's looking at a nation which has been pummeled by its enemy.